Welcome to the new and improved EWKP, where you'll learn about all the old or maybe new events.
Let's get right into it. First off, we have Sawyer talking about World War I.
Do you know what happened in World War I? If you don't, I'm going to tell you all about what happened in 1914 to 1918. Hopefully you enjoy me telling you about the first three battles: Battle of the Frontiers, Battle of Sullivan, and Battle of Gumbinnen. Battle of the Frontiers took place from August 14th to August 24th in 1914. The locations were Lorne, Anderson, and South Belgium. The amount of casualties in the German were 300,000, in French were 300,000, and British were 1,600. Many people fought in it, like Russia, Germany, France, and Britain. The Battle of Gumbinnen took place on August 20th. 1914. The location was East Perouse. The casualties of this battle, German were 14,800 and Russian were 16,500. A lot of people fought in it, like Germany and Russia. The Battle of Sullivan took place on August 17th, 1914. The location of this battle was East Perouse. The number of casualties of this battle is German were 1,200, Russian were 5,000 plus 3,000 prisoners. A lot of people fought in it, like Germany and Russia. Hopefully you enjoy me telling you all about the first three battles of World War I, of 1914 to 1918. Now you know all about the Battle of the Frontiers, Battle of Sullivan, and Battle of Gumbinnen. Now back to you, Pacey.
That was great, Sawyer.
Yeah, that's really interesting, but now we have Jake with World War II.
Do you know anything about World War II? Because if you don't, I can tell you. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. My name is Jake, and I will be telling you about World War II. I will be telling you about how the war started, equipment, D-Day, and the effects. I will be telling you all about the war. The war started September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, because Germany wanted more power. The war ended September 2nd, 1945, when the Axis Army was defeated by the Allies. The United States joined the war December 7th, 1941, after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, which killed 2,300 people. President Franklin Roosevelt declared war on Japan and Germany. The Axis was Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Allies were the United States, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union, to a lesser extent China. Let me tell you about the equipment they used in the war. Plastic was invented in the early 90s. Plastic canteens were used to save aluminum. Engineers made the first computers for the Army, and they improved radios to talk to each other and radar devices to detect enemy planes. D-Day was on June 6, 1944, when the Allied Army attacked the Germans on the beaches of France. It was the biggest seaborne invasion in history and ended August 30th, 1944. Many brave soldiers' lives were lost. A total of 4,100 Allies died, but the Allies won the battle. I am telling you about the effects of the war. The war left a huge amount of wreckage. Many cities and the countryside were destroyed, and millions of people were left homeless. But by defeating Japan, Germany, and Italy, the war was now a safer place. Now, that is the end of my story. I hope I answered some of your questions. Now back to you, Kylie.
That was great, Jake. I learned so much.
I agree. Now I feel like an expert about World War II. Next up is Eli with the Civil War. Take it away, Eli.
Do you know what the Civil War is about? Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell you all about it. First, let me tell you when and how the Civil War started. It started on April 12, 1861 in Fort Sumter, South Carolina. The war was between 11 southern states and the northern states. It was also called the War Between the States. The 11 southern states wanted to leave the United States because they wanted slavery to stay. The northern states wanted to free the slaves. Abraham Lincoln was elected for president in 1861. He wanted slaves to be free. The the southern states were called the Confederate States of America. The northern was called the Union. They were fighting about slaves having freedom. Second, let me tell you about the technology that was used in the Civil War. Lots of fighting took place on land, but there was also fighting on the water. Before the Civil War, ships were made out of wood and had sails. Ships with sails had to rely on the weather to move on the water. They needed windy weather to travel. Sails made it hard to travel in bad weather. Ships changed to using steam power during the Civil War. With the steam engines, the boats could travel when they wanted to, instead of depending on the weather. It also lets them have more control over the direction of the boat. Another change to ships were that they covered the wood on the ships with metal. The metal protected the ships from the cannonballs. Before adding metal to the ship's wooden sides, cannonballs would make the ships break and burn. The ships would be damaged and people would die. The war lasted 4 years and many people died. The war ended on April 9, 1865. About 620,000 people died. Approximately 360 people on the Union died, and 258,000 people on the Confederate side died in the war. The war was fought in the North and the South, but most of the fighting was fought in the South. At the end, the North won and slaves were free. In conclusion, the Civil War is an amazing part of history because people were fighting for slaves to be free for a very long time. I hope you liked this writing about the Civil War. Back to you in the studio, Pacey.
That was amazing, Eli.
I now know so much about the Civil War. Next up is Stephen with 9/11. I can't wait to hear it.
I'll be talking about the September 11th attacks. Al-Qaeda were the hijackers of the two planes on September 11th, 2001 that flew into the Twin Towers. They learned how to fly planes just for the attack. On September 11th, people in the Twin Towers thought there was an earthquake and started running to exit the buildings. When they got outside, they saw that a plane had flown into the North Twin Tower. Shortly after, a second plane flew into the South Twin Tower. There was over 1,600 people in the Twin Towers at the time of the attack. There was so much smoke that it was hard for people to breathe. A large number of these people in those buildings didn't survive. Of these people, 414 of them were first responders, and 2,606 were civilians that were in and outside the building and planes during the attack. There were 19 hijackers in total that also died. Over 6,000 people were injured but lived. Even though the Twin Towers were in New York, the attack had an effect on the entire United States. Major cities were on high alert, worried about any additional attacks. The attack caused countrywide devastation and anger. People who remember the September 11th attacks today say that it is still one of the most significant events in their lives. In 2002, President George W. Bush made a commission to investigate the September 11th attacks. The attacks also led to troops being sent into Afghanistan and Iraq. When the debris from the Twin Towers was all removed, trees began to grow. The site then became a park full of life. Builders created 2 pools that are in the spots where the Twin Towers once were. The pools have bronze panels that have the names of all the people who died because of the attacks. Some people who built the Twin Towers helped build a new World Trade Center that has 104 floors. That is all about the attacks on the Twin Towers. This year makes 21 years since this major event in the United States happened. Even though this was 21 years ago, it still has a big impact in the United States. It has changed the way the United States handles security in airports and other government buildings. We will forever remember the September 11th September 11th, 2001. Now back to you in the studio.
That was phenomenal.
That was great, Stephen. Now we have Molly with the Iditarod. Can't wait.
Do you know what the Iditarod is? Iditarod is a race from Anchorage to Nome. It may take several days or even longer, and Iditarod is dangerous but exciting. There's even more amazing things about the Iditarod. The Iditarod requires lots of equipment and preparing. One of the first things you would need is the sled. The sled has many parts, but some of the most important parts is the gear bag, which is in the back of the sled. Then the brakes, which help the sled stop when needed. And another important part of the sled is the footboard, where the driver, which is also called the musher, stands on the footboard. There's also something called the tow line, which is similar to a rope. The tow line is connected to the sled and the dogs, so when the dogs run forward, the sled drags behind them. Some other important equipment a musher might need is a sleeping bag, food, hunting gear, a vet kit, and dog food and pans. Another very important thing you should bring is spare clothes, because it's very cold and you might get wet if there's a storm or other bad weather. Of course, there's more equipment you may want to bring with you on this exciting race, but now you know some important equipment mushers bring with them. The dogs are one of the most important parts of to the Iditarod. There's many types of breeds that you can use, but a popular type of dog that mushers use is the Siberian Husky. There's also the Alaskan Husky and Quinax. Dogs that run in the Iditarod need 2 coats of fur to keep them warm. They also need thick hair to cover the inner and outer ears, which stop snow from building up on them. They also squint their eyes to protect their eyes from the snow. While the dogs run, the mushers have to yell out commands to keep the dogs on course. Mushers use the command G, which means to turn right, and haw, which means to go left. There's also easy, which means to go slower, and kissing sounds, or whistling, which means to go fast. Then there is whoa, which means to stop. These dogs need a lot of training to understand all these commands. There are many people who won the Iditarod, but Libby Riddles stood out a lot. Libby Riddles was the first woman to win the Iditarod. She had 13 dogs, and her strongest dog was Dugan. Dugan was almost always the lead dog. Libby Riddles had to go through many challenges in the Iditarod. While she was feeding her dogs ran away. Luckily, Terry Atkins found her dogs, and Chuck Scafford offered her a lift. And then, on December 6th, the race got shut down because of the weather, and there was a lot of ice, so Libby got off course. She put in a different dog for the lead. The dog's name was Sister, but Sister just got them off course even more. Luckily, they got back on course. One of Libby's dogs had to get sent back home because his paws hurt. Even though Libby Riddles had many struggles, she got first place and she got an award for best dog care. Libby Riddles' hard work definitely paid off. Of course, there are still many things about the Iditarod, but now you know the basics of this wonderful race. You know all the equipment that's necessary, the types of dogs people use, and you know about the first woman to win the Iditarod. The Iditarod has many challenges like wild animals, snowstorms, hurt dogs, and much more. But the Iditarod is unique and exciting, and now you can teach other people about this fantastic race. Back to you in the studio, Pacey.
That was really interesting. Now I know a lot more about the Iditarod.
Up next is Pacey with the Blizzard of 97. Can't wait to learn about all about it.
Have you ever wondered about blizzards? Maybe even a specific blizzard? Well, if you want to learn about the Blizzard of 97, you're in the right place. What makes a blizzard? For a blizzard to be considered a blizzard, winds must be as strong as 35 miles per hour while blowing snow. Visibility must be less than 500 feet. While snowdrifts are very common during a blizzard, it is not a requirement. Where and when did the Blizzard of 97 occur? The Blizzard of 97 took place in Colorado. Pueblo was mostly where it happened. The blizzard took place in October 1997. As you might have guessed, the Blizzard of 97 left quite a few effects behind. Let me tell you about a few. First of all, tons of places were closed, but during this blizzard, 2 airports closed, multiple schools, businesses, and many roads. The blizzard left 8 feet of snow, causing many car crashes. I've talked about what makes a blizzard, when and where the Blizzard of 97 occurred, effects of the blizzard, but have you ever wondered why the blizzard occurred in the first place? I have. Back to you, Molly.
That was great, Pacey.
Hope you enjoyed all these fascinating events.
And now you can share all the interesting facts that you learned with other people.
But now we have the HWCL news station coming up. See you next time on EWKP News.
Hi, I'm Crew.
And I'm Liam.
Welcome to HWCL. Hey friendos, we're going to be talking about the history of really random stuff.
Alright, now let's get to it, Crew.
Alright, first up we have Josh talking about Drew Brees. Go ahead, Joshy boy.
Hi, my name is Joshua. Do you know who Drew Brees is? Well, he was the New Orleans Saints quarterback. He retired in 2020. He got one Super Bowl ring and MVP of that Super Bowl, which was Super Bowl 44. Drew was born in Austin, Texas in 1979. When Drew was 7, his parents got divorced. He led Westlake High School to a 16-0 record. Drew went to Purdue University for college. He has a lot of accomplishments, like winning Super Bowl 44. The San Diego Chargers drafted him in the 2001 draft. Drew got traded to the New Orleans Saints at the end of his career. He had the most passing yards until Tom Brady broke it in 2021. Drew's parents were athletes. His dad played basketball and his mom was a former All-State in 3 sports. He married Brittany Dedcento. He has 3 sons and 1 daughter. Lastly, did you know that Drew's first name isn't Drew, it's Andrew? Drew wanted to go to Texas State for college, but he was selected by Purdue University. He was selected 4th for the Heisman Trophy, and to wrap it all up, what number was Drew Brees when he was on the Chargers? He was number 9. Now back to you in the studio, Crew.
Wow, I didn't know that much about Drew Brees.
Now on to Matthew, who has a lot of knowledge with Mickey Mouse. Let's get to it, pal.
Mickey Mouse is a cartoon character. Mickey Mouse is an anthropomorphic mouse. Anthropomorphic means a non-human thing and will have human traits. For example, Mickey can stand on 2 feet, he wears clothes, and he can talk. A real mouse couldn't do this thing and wouldn't wear clothes. Mickey Mouse has 3 friends. Their names are Donald Duck, Goofy, and Daisy. Pete the cat is Mickey Mouse's nemesis. Mickey Mouse is in movies and cartoon films. Mickey Mouse is also the Disney mascot. Walt Disney and Iowa created Mickey in 1928. Before Mickey Mouse, Disney and Iowa created the character Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Oswald's first film was in 1927, Charlie Troubles. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and Mickey Mouse movie was in Steamboat Willie in 1928, and it was the first sound movie and movie ever. Mickey Mouse went to be in many movies and shows. In the end, he became popular. Mickey Mouse did his magic in Fantasia and was one of the 3 Musketeers. He was also in Once Upon a Christmas, in Lonesome Ghost, Get a Horse, and Brave Little Tail, Clock Cleaners, Fun and Fancy Free, and A Haunted House. He is also in the Mickey Mouse TV show and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Now back to you, Liam.
Wow, thanks, Matthew.
Now we have Aiden talking about the Boston Bruins. Carpenters hate playing ice hockey the most. The only reason would be that they don't like being nailed to the boards. Nothing? Okay, that was upsetting. Okay, anyways, go ahead, Aiden.
Do you know the history of the Boston Bruins? Then put on your listening ears. Did you know the first year the Bruins played in the NHL, they only won 6 out of 30 games? The NHL was formed in 1917. The first teams at this time were the Montreal Canadiens, Montreal Wanderers, Ottawa Senators, Toronto Arenas, and Quebec Bulldogs. The Boston Bruins joined the NHL in 1924. The Bruins' first captain was Eddie Shore. The Bruins' home was in Boston at the Boston Garden. The Bruins played at the Boston Garden for 67 years. Other teams hated this arena because of the tiny locker rooms and the cold showers. In 1998, the Boston Garden was demolished. The Bruins moved to a new building called the TD Bank North Garden, which is near the Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge.
The Bruins have many records in the 1939 to 1940 season. The Bruins won 27 games, lost 8, and tied 13. It was the best record during that time. The top 3 best Bruins players are Phil Esposito is a record-setting scorer. Ray Burkue is famous for holding the most points in history. And the best NHL player, Bobby Orr, as an offensive defenseman. The Boston Bruins are loved all over New England. They have 6 Stanley Cups in their history. Back to you, the studio crew.
Thanks, Aiden, and go Bruins.
Now on to Aubrey, with her talking about Yellowstone National Park. I have a good nature joke, but after listening to it, everyone just leaves. Let's get to it, Aubrey.
Yellowstone was the first national park on March 1, 1872, and it was founded by President Grant. It is located in the northwest corner of Wyoming, and very small areas go into Montana and Idaho. The size of Yellowstone is 3,472 square miles. The highest elevation in the park is at Eagle Creek, and it is 11,358 feet above sea level. Reese Creek has the lowest elevation at 5,282 feet. Yellowstone has many different types of animals. There are 67 types of mammals, 300 types of birds, 16 types of fish, 5 types of amphibians, and 6 types of reptiles. Some of the predators are the wolves, bald eagles, coyotes, and foxes. Some of the prey in Yellowstone are bighorn sheep, pikas, elk, moose, and pronghorn. Owls, chickadees, wrens, and the mountain bluebirds are some of the birds in Yellowstone. Some of the reptiles are common garter snakes and sagebrush lizards. And the amphibians in Yellowstone are western tiger salamanders and boreal toads. The most common fish in Yellowstone waters is the cutthroat trout. Yellowstone has many hydrothermal features. It has hot springs, mud pots, geysers, steam vents. At Yellowstone, there are more geysers than anywhere else in the world. Hot springs are the most common hydrothermal feature in Yellowstone. Geysers are hot springs, but they explode. Mud pots are acidic hydrothermal features, and steam vents are the hottest hydrothermal feature in the park. The most famous geyser is Old Faithful, and the most famous hot spring in Yellowstone is the Grand Prismatic Springs. This spring is the 3rd largest spring in the world, and it is rainbow colored. All of the color is caused by microorganisms called thermophiles, and they live in hot water. As you can see, Yellowstone is a very interesting place. Maybe you should go visit someday. Now back to you in the studio, Liam.
Wow, thanks, Aubrey.
Now we have Liam talking about Pokemon. What's Pikachu's favorite song, The Hokey Pokemon?
Have you ever felt what it's like to sit or stand in front of a screen all day? The joys of playing video games all day? Well, if you have, let's get started, shall we? My essay is about the history of Pokemon. What's Pokemon, you say? They're monsters that are sometimes cute and scary, maybe even at the same time. And here's some more information about Pokemon and the creator of it. To begin, this is about the Pokemon creatures themselves. Pokemon are monsters that live in a made-up world with humans, but they don't really talk. Pokemon just say their own name. For example, Pikachu, or Bulbasaur, or even Charmander, and many, many more. Pokemon can be sizes big and small. For example, some Pokemon can be up to 23 or even 34 feet tall. They also have human companions which are called trainers. Trainers keep Pokemon as either pets or just buddies to travel with, and Pokemon can also evolve. Pokemon evolve by doing enough battles to gain experience, and after Pokemon gain enough experience, they evolve and gain new names as well. Trainers do battles to gain experience for their Pokemon by coming across another trainer that challenges them. Next is, of course, some information about the history of Pokemon. A video game creator named Satoshi Tajiri made up the name Pokemon. He put the words pocket and monster together to make up the word Pokemon. Pokemon is a pretty viral game in Japan, which is also its home place. Tajiri made several versions of the game, for example, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Green, and more. Then a couple of years later, they thought of making a television show about Pokemon that stars Pikachu and his trainer, Ash Ketchum, in a huge adventure series about becoming a Pokemon master. Afterwards, Tajiri made Pokemon Yellow, which you could only pick Pikachu as your first partner. Finally, this is about the game Pokemon Go. In 2016, the Pokemon and Game Company decided to make a new Pokemon game called Pokemon Go. The idea of Pokemon Go is to catch as many Pokemon as possible and to pretend to be a Pokemon trainer in a Pokemon world. There are these places called gyms in the game. Gyms are where you can put Pokemon in, and after a while, they'll come back to you and you'll also get Poke coins, which you can buy avatar items to be able to customize your character. To add on to gyms, there is something that only happens once in a while called raids. Raids are where you can fight a rare Pokemon or a Pokemon you don't have. You can also team up with other players to defeat the Pokemon, and the most important part is that you only get a limited amount of tries to catch the Pokemon. And one more thing, you can also make friends in Pokemon Go. In conclusion, Pokemon's history is pretty long. However, it's improved over the years to now, and will eventually be the most popular thing in Japan, America, and many other states. The whole story of Pokemon is pretty cool, like how they got the idea of Pokemon, how they make many different versions of the Pokemon games, and how they made Pokemon Go in 2006. Wow, that's a lot. Just a fun fact for you, Pokemon was created in 1990, and here's a quote Tajiri said as well. I thought of actual living organisms moving back and forth across the cable. The idea of Pokemon clicked in my mind. So now I hope you enjoyed my essay, and now you could think about starting to watch Pokemon at home. Now back to you in the studio, crew.
Thank you for teaching us all about Pokemon, because I had no clue anything related to it.
Now we have crew talking about Tom Brady. Why did the coach go to the bank? To get his quarterback.
Do you know who Tom Brady is? Well, if you're not familiar with him, then you're in the right place. I'm going to tell you how 199th overall pick became the GOAT. Tom Brady was born on August 3rd, 1977. He grew up in San Mateo, California. Growing up, Tom loved football and his hometown team, the San Francisco 49ers, and their quarterback, Joe Montana. The Brady family was very competitive and loved sports. Tom's sisters played softball and soccer. Other than football, Tom loved playing baseball and playing golf with his dad. Next, Tom Brady played football in high school. He ended up going to Michigan University. It took some time for Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr to name Brady the starter. His first pass in college was intercepted and he went back to the bench for his first 2 seasons at Michigan. Brady competed with top recruit Drew Henson for the starting job. Tom Brady ran the slowest 40-yard dash in NFL history by a quarterback with 5.28 seconds in the NFL Combine. The New England Patriots did not draft Brady until the 6th round for Tom's rookie season. He hardly came off the bench behind starting quarterback Drew Bledsoe. After that, in the second game of the 2001 NFL season, linebacker Mo Lewis hit Drew Bledsoe very hard. Drew had to come out of the game, and that's when Tom Brady got his chance. That season, Brady led the Patriots to an 11-5 season despite the 0-2 start. Tom took New England to the Super Bowl against the defending champ St. Louis Rams, now known as the LA Rams. The Patriots ended up winning 20-17. Adam Vinatieri had the game-winning 48-yard field goal. Brady had 5 more Super Bowl wins with the Patriots: 2004 against the Carolina Panthers, 2005 against the Philadelphia Eagles, 2015 against the Seattle Seahawks, 2017 against the Atlanta Falcons, and finally with the Patriots, 2019 against the LA Rams. Brady announced he would be leaving New England to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on March 17th, 2020. In 2021, Brady's first season with Tampa Bay, he won his 7th Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, more than any team
Brady has more Super Bowls than any team in history. Brady holds records for most passing yards with 96,969 passing yards. Passing touchdowns with 707, game-winning drives with 67, fourth quarter comebacks with 51, and Super Bowl rings with 7 and wins with 2,077 and counting. Tom Brady dated actress Bridget Moynihan from 2004 again until 2006. Moynihan gave birth to Brady's son shortly after they broke up. On February 6, 2009, Brady married Giselle Bundchen in Santa Monica, California. They had 2 children, a son and a daughter. Finally, did you know that Brady led the New England Patriots to the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history? The Patriots were playing the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51. The Patriots were down 28-3 in the third quarter, and the Patriots came back to tie at 28-28 at the end of regulation. The 2 teams went into overtime. James White scored the game-winning run to win Super Bowl 51, and Tom won his 5th Super Bowl. I hope you learned a lot about Tom Brady. Back to you in the studio, Liam.
Thanks, crew, for teaching us about the greatest of all time.
Thank y'all for listening to the HWCL.
Now to Paige, Hayden, and Callie at ANI News Station. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Hi, welcome to ANI News Channel. I'm Callie.
I'm Paige.
And I'm Hayden.
Today's news is about animals. For our first report, we have Damien with tabby cats.
Have you ever seen a tabby cat? Tabby cats were the first breed that were born. Anyway, did you know tabby cats can sleep 16 to 20 hours a day? So here is some more information about the tabby cats. You need to find out about tabby cats. So here is some information. Tabby cats are desmonic cats slash mixed breed. Their coats for the mixed breeds are spotted, classic, striped, and there are some colors to the tabby cats. For example, brown, orange, or silver. Food is very important to the tabby cats, and should be fed twice a day. Feeding them is hard. You have to feed them 12 hours each day. Don't let the 12-hour mark pass, or it'll hurt their stomachs. You need to feed them dry, wet, or home cooked. I will warn you though, do not let them become overweight. Do not let them eat red or green grease, cream, raw fish, cactus, chocolate, and garlic. Taking care of a tabby cat is like taking care of a car. You need a lot of supplies for your tabby, like a litter box, cat litter, a scoop, a bowl, cat food, wet or dry, and cat beds. A carrier helps you transport the cats from place to place. A scratcher post, a cat treat, and some cat toys to keep them busy. That's a lot of things you need to take care of your pet. All in all, that's all the things you need to know about tabbies. Do you want to get a tabby? Now, back to you in the studio, Callie.
Wow, Damien, I didn't know that tabby cats are a mixed breed.
Next up, we have Vanessa with Labradoodles.
Have you ever heard of Labradoodles? If you haven't, it's a mix between a poodle and a Labrador. There's also a designer dog, which is a dog that's mom is a different dog than the dad. Did you know Labradoodles can't eat avocados? Other foods Labradoodles can't eat are macadamia nuts, candy, gum, toothpaste, salt, and caffeine. Some of the best dog food brands are Purina Pro Dry puppy food, Blue Buffalo dog food, and a lot more. They also need fresh water to drink after they run around. There are so many different breeds of Labradoodles. For example, wolf pups. Wolf pups are tamed and they are used to help people hunt. There's also an American Labradoodle. An American Labradoodle is a hybrid dog. Another type of Labradoodle is the Australian Labradoodle. The Australian Labradoodle is a purebred.
Next is training. Labradors have a lot of energy and love attention. A good way to train them is obedience training so they can have an activity every day and become more calm. Another type of training is therapy training. Therapy training is good for them so they can become more calm and relaxed. The last type of training is punishments, like locking it in a cage for a couple minutes or giving it alone time to think about what it did to help it learn not to do what it did wrong or tell it no. In conclusion, Labradors are crazy and energetic, so you gotta keep them safe. Labradors can live to 12 to 14 years. What is your favorite dog breed? Now back to you, Paige.
Wow, Vanessa, that was so informative.
Next up, we have Kylie with German Shepherds.
Do you like dogs? Then you will like this story. It is about German Shepherds. Do you have any pets? If you have a German Shepherd, then you know they need lots of attention. They can eat commercial dry foods and canned wet foods. If they are good and you want to give them a treat, the best treats are milk bones and dog cookies. The best thing to do for your dog is take them on walks daily. Do not forget lots and lots of exercise and running around. At all costs, do not feed your dog grapes and raisins. Some protein sources are lamb, beef, pork, fish, eggs, and vegetables. They also need vitamins and minerals. Do you know they can sniff out drugs, bombs, and can track humans down? They are also known for being service dogs and therapy dogs. They also herd sheep and they can be police dogs also. Some fun facts about them are they started herding sheep in the late 1800s. They are also very protective of loved ones. You must know they are very active. They can also live up to 9 to 13 years old. They explore everything with their noses and are very fast. Now you know about all about German Shepherds. Here is one more fact. They will be kind to anyone and other dogs if you are kind first. This is all you need to know about German Shepherds. I hope you are now educated on German Shepherds. Back to Hayden in the studio.
Wow, Kylie, I never knew German Shepherds needed so much attention.
Next up, we have Abby with Yorkies.
Do you have a Yorkshire Terrier? If you don't, you should. Yorkshire Terriers are small dogs with long hair. Some people call Yorkshire Terriers Yorkies because it's a shorter name. Yorkies are cute and really good pets. There is a lot to know about Yorkies. Yorkies are about 10 inches and 7 pounds. They have black noses and dark eyes. Yorkies are friendly, clever, courageous, and full of energy. Yorkies love their owners. Yorkshire Terriers have an interesting history. Before 1870, people had other kinds of terriers called waterside terriers. A news reporter wrote a story about the dog and said it should be called a Yorkshire Terrier. Lastly, America heard of Yorkshire Terriers and wanted one for their own. Taking care of Yorkies is hard but fun. Yorkies are great for people who live alone or have a small home. Some Yorkies try too hard to protect their owners, so they'll bulk around strangers to protect their owners. Yorkies get lots of attention. Yorkies are really cute and really curious. There is a lot to know about Yorkies. Yorkies have an interesting history, and taking care of Yorkies is hard but fun. Fun fact about Yorkies is that newborn Yorkies are black and tan, and then once they get older, they turn golden tan and steely blue. Yorkies are an awesome pet. Now back to you, Callie.
Wow, Abby, I never realized how small and lightweight Yorkies are.
Next in the studio, we have Callie with the cutest rodents alive, guinea pigs.
Did you know that guinea pigs aren't related to pigs? Hi, I'm Callie, and I'm going to tell you about guinea pigs and how to care for them. First, you may not know what a guinea pig is. A guinea pig is a small furry animal with short legs and large front teeth. They are bigger than a mouse and smaller than a cat. Guinea pigs are part of a group called rodents. Next, guinea pigs can sometimes be challenging to take care of, so here are some tips that could be helpful. If you don't clean their cage, they will start to stink. You should be cleaning their cage 3 times a month. Next, you may be wondering, what do guinea pigs eat? So I'm going to give some examples of what is healthy and not healthy for your guinea pig's diet. First, let's go to what is not healthy. Guinea pigs cannot eat iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, or any type of candy and chocolate. Here are some things that guinea pigs can eat. Guinea pigs can eat cabbage, carrots, celery, broccoli, apples, pears, cauliflower, and almost every type of melon. Lastly, now that you know what a guinea pig is and how to take care of one and what they should eat, maybe you'll want to get one. Do you know that guinea pigs bite their cage? It is a sign that they're happy and you did a good job. Now back to Paige in the studio.
Well, I really had no idea that guinea pigs had very large teeth.
Next up we have Paige with octopuses.
Did you know that there's an animal called an octopus? It has 8 legs and it lives in the ocean. Octopuses are related to snails, slugs, and clams. They also don't have any ears. If you did not know some of the facts above, you might not know that much about octopuses. Well, you're in luck. I can teach you all about them. First, I can teach you about their diet. An octopus's diet can vary from different foods, but its favorite foods are fish, clams, crabs, and lobster. When you eat, your food probably does not try to fight you back. But that's exactly what an octopus's food does. It fights the octopus to try to get away. The average octopus can eat up to 6 pounds of food each day. Octopi have different ways to catch their prey. One of the ways is that they use venom to freeze their food. Another way is it can catch its food by using their suckers on their arms. The suckers are like really sticky suction cups. Secondly, I can tell you about some species of octopuses. The octopus family is so big that there are over 300 species. In general, the average lifespan of an octopus is 1 to 2 years. The California octopus is the smallest known octopus. It measures out to be around 1 inch. Also, the largest known octopus is the Pacific octopus. The Pacific octopus weighs around 100 pounds and is about 20 feet. Meanwhile, the largest Pacific octopus ever seen was 30 feet long. Even though the Pacific octopus is the largest octopus, only 2 out of 57,000 live to adulthood. Lastly, I can tell you about the octopus body. Octopuses have a very interesting body. I'm going to tell you about the interesting parts from head down. The head is where the octopus's gills are. The gills is how they breathe. Some octopuses even have fins on their head to help them swim. Their head is attached to their legs. This may be shocking to you, but octopuses do not have great eyesight. In fact, I'm going to tell you about their legs. The octopus has 8 legs. Each leg can regrow if cut off. The octopus's arms are so strong that the octopus can walk on 2 legs. An octopus leg is usually about 3 feet long. It also has around 200 suckers on each leg. Octopuses do not just use their mouths to taste. They also use their legs. Octopuses have a part of their body called a siphon. The siphon is a tube that helps the octopus swim faster. The siphon is also where the ink is shot out from the octopus. The last interesting thing I have to tell you about is that it can camouflage itself. It can even change its texture. In conclusion, octopuses have a very interesting diet. There are a ton of different species of octopus, and the octopus body is full of cool facts. So, do you know more about octopuses? Now back to you, Hayden.
Wow, Paige, I had no idea that octopuses had no ears.
Next up, we have Hayden with Maine Coon cats.
Are you a fan of cats? If you are, I highly recommend that you learn about Maine Coon cats. The Maine Coon cat is the oldest and largest American cat breed. It is the 2nd most popular cat breed in the United States. Maine Coon cats are a little more complex to take care of than short-haired cats due to brushing. Cats mostly just eat meat and fish. Hard bones that don't splinter help keep their teeth and mouth clean. With their long hair, they need a good brushing at least once a week. Grooming a Maine Coon cat will keep hairballs from forming. You should never need to bathe your cat, but if they roll in the mud, you probably should do so. They tend to clean themselves daily, though. Do you like kittens? I know I do. Mother cats are pregnant for about 65 days. They will have 2 to 8 kittens, usually 4. Kittens are blind and helpless for the first several weeks. After about 3 weeks, they will start crawling and playing. After about a month, kittens will run, wrestle, and play around. Maine Coon cats have a pretty unique coat. A lot of Maine Coon cats have markings like those on raccoons. Some of them have very unique markings. The cats developed thick coats to protect them from the brutal New England winters. Maine Coon cats come in many colors, including white, black, blue and white, silver tabby, and brown tabby. Maine Coon cat coats are also similar to Persian cats, which are ancient long-haired cats. In conclusion, now that you know how to take care of Maine Coon cats, what they're like as kittens, and their coats and colors, you may even be able to get a Maine Coon cat of your own. Did you know that it takes 4 to 5 years for a Maine Coon cat to be full grown? They are also the official state cat of Maine. Back to you in the studio, Callie.
Wow, Hayden, I didn't know that Maine Coon cats were related to ancient cats.
Today we had some very intriguing facts about interesting animals.
I'm Callie.
I'm Paige.
And I'm Hayden.
And that's all we have for A&I News.
Channel.
See you next time.